Welcome to Philadelphia, Dave Dombrowski. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Philly South Show videocast. Today we're going to be talking about Dave Dombrowski's opening press conference, as we're going to be talking about what he said and how I think it's going to pan out for the Phillies organization. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please show a notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. Now, Dave Dombrowski had his introductory press conference on Friday. He was asked many questions about what he will change in the Phillies organization. The Phillies hired him on Thursday. They officially announced it. He will be the next president of baseball operations, the first ever president of baseball operations. We've never had that before in franchise history. And it is unclear if we're going to be hiring a general manager. That is yet to be determined. He didn't really touch on that much. He was asked about Matt Klentak. He said, I actually spoke to him. I believe it was, the time he said I spoke to him yesterday. And he could consult for the Phillies, which could mean that he might give his opinions on how things should turn out for the Phillies, how he thinks it should go. And he said that having Matt Klentak in the Phillies organization still is a valuable asset to this team. And since he's on contract for another 2 years, he's not going to be going anywhere. And this now means that President Andy MacPhail is out as well. We talked about that the other day in the breaking news video that we did about announcing Dave Dombrowski going to the Phillies. So I like what he said a lot. And the thing I love that he said is that he said we're not going to be rebuilding. He said we're going to be retooling. And he said that he talked to a lot of people in the Phillies organization. And he said the general consensus is we're not just one player away. We have a lot of holes we have to fill. We have a lot of things we have to do. We're not just one player away. And getting back to the GM thing, he said, he was asked, he said, do you think you'll hire a GM? He said, I don't know. I met everybody in his organization. I haven't worked with him yet. I don't know how it's going to work out yet. It's going to be, to be determined. We don't know what's going to happen there. It's going to be, yet to be seen. We don't know what's going to happen there. It's all up to Dave Dombrowski and, everybody in the front office, how he thinks he's going to work. And he was talking on there, and he actually was in Nashville this past year trying to make the Nashville Stars a Major League Baseball team. And he's, still going to be pushing for that. He signed a 4-year contract with us, and even though he's going to be working with us as the president of baseball operations, he's still going to be continuing his dream to make the Nashville Stars a Major League Baseball organization, which will most likely happen. He tried to present it to him in the 2021 winter meetings. He was set to do that. There was a pushback, and the Phillies actually reached out to him this past fall to be the next president of baseball operations. And he wasn't really listening. He was more concerned about the Nashville Stars. And once he got news about a pushback about the Nashville Stars, has motivated him to take another job in the MLB front office. And he has a lot of experience. He has experience winning, right? He has won 2 World Series championships, made the World Series 4 times. So he has a lot of experience winning. I've talked about this a lot. And as I said, he was asked about JT. He said, we're not going to rule it out bringing him back. He said, we definitely have flexibility, which I love to hear. He didn't make any promises. He's not like, okay, well, we're going to definitely bring back JT Muto. He didn't say anything about that at all. And that was the day before the Mets signed James Buchanan a 4-year, $40 million contract, which we'll get into on the weekly update video I'm about to do after this one. But I really like the things he was saying about retooling. We're going to go all in. I love that. And the thing is you listen to John Middleton, you listen to everybody in the Phillies organization. You hear the things they say, and they say, we lost $2 billion, which I don't agree with. And he said, another report came out and said we lost $145 million, which, again, I don't know what report is true. But the Phillies are acting like they're the only ones that lost money. Every single professional sports team, not just baseball, you're talking NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, of course, even if you want to talk about the MLS or whatever, every professional, sports team lost money this year. I don't care, what anybody says, right? So the Phillies are not alone here. So, they're acting like, we're only us. We're only having financial problems. Everybody is having financial problems, even outside of baseball too. So, I don't want to hear that attitude out of John Middleton. I understand, hey, it's disappointing. We'll be having fans back in the stadiums next year, of course, which will help things. But I'm looking forward to that, of course. But, once again, he said there's going to be financial flexibility. And he said he loves, starting rotation. I think that we'd like to get another starter in there. And I think if we could do that, then that would really bolster our rotation. We have Spencer Howard, the development of Spencer Howard. And another thing that Dave Dombrowski talked about was how much he loves first-round pick out of 2020 draft for the Phils, Mickey Abel. how much he loves him and how much of a valuable asset he is to this organization and on our farm system, and how well he thinks he's going to develop. And I love that. I really do. It means he's not going to be going anywhere. So, that's good. And this guy's not afraid of trading prospects away, right? We saw that when he's with the then Florida Marlins. We saw him do that. So he's not afraid to be trading people. He's not afraid to be giving away prospects for things. And, it does bring back, some bad memories, right? I mean, with the JT Muto trade, with giving away Cisco Sanchez, Jorge Alfaro, and Will Stewart for just a 2-year rental, if we do not bring back JT Realmuto. But I'm a little bit more confident about our chances of bringing back JT Realmuto after the news we heard yesterday. But I'm not even going to talk about that right now. I tell you, man, what I heard was music to my ears. I mean, retooling. He said, once again, we're not one player away. It's going to take some work. I think we could do it. He said, I want to win. I want to bring a championship back to the city of Philadelphia, which is a beautiful words for us to hear. We love to hear that. And we do not want to rebuild. I mean, we have a good core here. We have a star right fielder in Bryce Harper. If we could bring back JT Muto and get a great arm behind home plate, a great all-around athletic catcher, if we can improve Rhys Hoskins' development and have him hit for a higher average and be more consistent, that would be great. To have a big right-handed first baseman, power bat in our lineup. If Alec Boehm, continue to develop, if we could maybe bring Didi back, a 300 hitter who, if he stays healthy at shortstop, if we can improve this bullpen, that would be huge. Get another starter. So once again, as Dave Dombrowski says, I keep bringing it up, we are not one player away. We have a lot of holes to fill, but I like the direction we're headed. We're hiring a guy who has a lot of experience. He's been in the front office for over 30 years. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to win. He knows how to build a World Series caliber team. He did it with the Boston Red Sox. So, I love this move a lot. I really, really do. Most recently with the Boston Red Sox in 2018. And everybody wants to say, I got, some criticism on my post the other day. People telling me, oh, well, he ruined the Red Sox. Well, the reason why the Red Sox were not good in 2019, ladies and gentlemen, is because they had injuries. Mookie Betts wasn't quite as good as he was in 18. They had a lot of injuries, Chris Sale, JD Martinez, I believe. So the Red Sox were banged up in 2019. So they just had a little hangover. How could you blame that on Dave Dombrowski? You just can't. So to say that, he ruined the Red Sox, that is just an unintelligent statement. That is just so untrue. He did not ruin the Boston Red Sox, so I really do not want to be hearing that. And once again, the Apple Watch scandal was not brought up in this press conference, but it is something to discuss, and I don't like a scandal, right? We saw that in 2016. The Red Sox did get in trouble for that when they were, I believe that was against, who was that against? The Yankees, right? I believe that was, they had an Apple Watch stealing signs, signaling with the coach. That was a big hubbub. They got fined for that. Dave Dombrowski did get fined for that, as he should have been. That's not right. You can't be stealing signs and things like that. That was not discussed. But you know what? I think the biggest thing is a lot of what we've been feeling this past week is a lot of anxiety about the Phillies, right? Who's going to be manning our front office? What direction are we headed in? Because it was unclear. John Middleton's giving us mixed signals. We're gonna take another direction. Are we gonna rebuild? We're gonna be shopping Zach Wheeler. We're gonna be, looking at, trading these people away. Now you bring in a guy who says, no, we're going all in. We're gonna be, retooling. We're gonna be keeping these people that are gonna help our organization. We're gonna keep this young core. We're gonna go out and stack the bullpen. We're gonna go get another starter. We're gonna improve this organization the best we could be, and our ability to win will go through the roof. We're gonna win, and I love to hear that, as they keep saying. Now we know what direction we're going in, and that is huge. That is huge for my confidence of the Phillies. Before we were uncertain. There was a lot of uncertainty, and I don't do well under uncertainty. I think a lot of people do not like having that uneasy feeling, right? And that's how I felt about the Phillies for a while. Now I can kind of relax a little bit and say, wow, I like this hire a lot. We're going all in. We're gonna win. We're gonna try our best to win. And we have a guy in our front office who knows what he's doing. And I trust Dave Dombrowski a lot. He's not perfect, right? He's not terrific, right? But he has experience, and that alone is an asset in itself. That is a huge asset to have a guy who has over 30 years of experience. And we have our manager, Joe Girardi, who's doing a fantastic job. Joe Girardi knows how to run a bullpen better than anybody. He's been around the game for a while. So we're hiring good people in our organization who are, going to set us up for success. I really do believe that. And once again, it is unclear if he will hire a general manager. It's going to be a little while until we figure that out. once again, he's going to, talk to some people in the organization. He knows everybody, he said. He said, until I know how things work around here, until I get to know these people, I will make that decision whether I want a general manager or not. So we could possibly see no more general manager in the Phillies for a little while. So he signed a 4-year contract with us. He is committed, and even though he's going to be here for us as a president of baseball operations, he is still going to be continuing his initiative and his goal to make the Nashville Stars in Tennessee a professional baseball team, a Major League Baseball team. He's still going to be striving for that. So that's really his goal. And even in the press conference, they had he had a Stars shirt behind him with Stars jersey, so that was pretty cool. So he was really pushing for that. I mean, as I said, their goal was to present to Major League Baseball in the 2021 winter meetings about this proposal. And according to Dave Dombrowski, there was a setback and was not going to be in 2021 at the winter meetings. So it's unclear what's going to be happening with that. But all we know is that Dave Dombrowski will be here for the next 4 years, which is a great feeling. Once again, I mean, Matt Klentak gone, Andy McPhail gone. Two guys who really didn't do anything. And once again, bring up the Andy McPhail. What in the world did he do before he came to the Philadelphia Phillies? First of all, he didn't do anything when he was with us. He didn't do anything. But what in the world gave the Phillies, the desire to hire this guy? I mean, what did he accomplish? He's with the Orioles for all those years. He didn't do anything. And don't you find it funny that he hired Matt Klentak because they worked together in Baltimore? Oh, isn't that interesting? Come over here. You have a nice cozy job with us here in Philly. You work with me in Baltimore. Come over here to Philly. You don't think there's some behind the scenes there? I definitely think there is. So it's nice to get those people out of our organization. Nothing against them personally. There's definitely some shady stuff going on there. Not too shady, but all that stuff goes on all the time. Hey, I work with you. We'll hire you. Even though there's another guy out there more qualified for the job, I'm going to hire you because I know you. That stuff goes on all the time. Not many people really talk about it, but I'll talk about it on here. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened. Sometimes you work with a guy and say, hey, this guy's great. I know him. I think he's doing a great job. I think their initiative was, hey, I think Klentak is going to do a good job here when we hired him. I'm not saying that at all, but it's nice to push these guys out. And yet again, Andy McPhail, he's not our president anymore. He's still going to be in our organization. So it's unclear what his role will be with our organization. Dave Dombrowski didn't really touch on that. He talked about his friendship, with Matt Klentak, his friendship with Andy McPhail. And he's known John Middleton, Joe Girardi, of course, for a long time. He's competed against Joe Girardi with the Boston Red Sox. Joe Girardi managed the New York Yankees for part of his tenure with the Boston Red Sox. So they were going against each other for a few years there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I like this hire a lot. I like the things he said, and this just proves my point. I think this is a very, very good hire. And again, he's not perfect. He's not perfect. I'm not trying to tell you that he is. He's not. But he has success. He's had his longevity. He knows what he's doing. He's experienced. And that alone is an asset. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section at Phillies Hot Stove Instagram, at Harvard Fanatics Instagram. Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshotsstove@gmail.com. Dave Dombrowski said all the right things, and I agree with what he said. And welcome to Philadelphia. I am Luke, and I will talk to you later. I'll see you.